That's heavy. So we're not against prosperity. Prosperity is land, vegetables, seeds, raw materials, you know what I'm saying? Labor, the cooperation among the efficient and the skillful. That's wealth. Money is the compliance and the assimilation to an institutional framework that has been set up to perpetuate white supremacy on an international level. Huh? That's what their monetary system is. It's a fact. People in the country sitting on wealth. They take it from them, sell it to us. They sit over there and they don't have nothing because their value is in money, not resources. Do you know what I'm saying? So while they sitting on rubber, natural elements, steel, iron, elements, it means absolutely nothing to them. Rare and exotic herbs, fabrics, it means nothing to them. They walk past it every day and kick it. But the value, what means something to them is not nature anymore, but a damn currency note. Ain't this heavy? And that's the matrix. When he has sucked you into his value system. So how you see reality is substantiated by his value system. When you see a tree, you don't see a tree. You don't see natural resources. You see his value system. Right? We used to walk outside and we saw natural resources. We don't see that anymore. It doesn't even show up on the radar. We could be growing garlic in our backyard, but if we don't buy it from a grocery store, it couldn't be the right stuff. We don't know where the hell they're getting it from. We don't know how they're growing it. We ain't testing no damn soil. But just because it came from him, it's valuable, right? We buying water from him. He didn't piss in the damn water. We ain't tested no damn water. We don't know where the water is coming from because we paid for it. Huh? So it ain't even the water no more. Ain't nobody testing the water. It's not, the water has no value anymore. That we paid for him as this aestheticism. Water. You see what I'm saying? This is a whole magical ass dimension that we have been sucked into through his economic reality. And that's what we're escaping. Because that's the only place he has power. That's the only place he has power. He cannot get a whale. And the human is worse because a whale would never accept that. A fish would never accept that. A squirrel do not care. But us, we have been hypnotized into making his value system the basis of our reality. And until we change that, we will not be liberated. Because what we consider liberation is creating more value in his system. Not a different set of values, but we consider achieving something by being validated by his reality. Dr. Martin Luther King could have marched out into the forest, right? And built a complete society. But he wanted, his value system was consistent with the Europeans. He wanted to be, he had the same values that they did. And he wanted them to allow him to share in that value system. This is what Dr. King wanted. We had our own restaurants, stores, and movie theaters. We had all this. But he had the value. Because what we had was not seen as valuable. We needed to be accepted by him. Because we didn't even feel like we had values until he accepted us into his household. We didn't feel like we had values until we could sit at the table with him. When he valued us, we felt like we had values. So when we attack the monetary system, we attack in a deep level of psychosis. This is not just UCC conversation and commercial conversation and banking talk. It is a psychosis of how our value system works for our enemy and not for us. And not for us. Some people don't feel like they've been doing nothing with their life unless they got a job. Literally. Unless they have a job, I ain't doing nothing. And they'll tell you, well, you ain't doing nothing. You could have fixed everybody's car on the block. Huh? But if you ain't working, you ain't doing shit. And they're not concerned about what you're actually doing or how valuable it is. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't doing nothing. You standing out. You protecting the community. Just standing there, people are out there standing on the street, they become watchmen and become physical bodies in the presence in our community. But we say them niggas ain't doing shit. Because our values is only when you are working for the European are you valuable. That's where you get the values from. That's how you go out and buy the valuables. Everything outside of that is not valuable. If you go and you give something out, people say, well, it's not valuable. This couldn't be valuable because you're giving it away. What are they saying? If you give out the cure for AIDS, it is valuable whether it's free or not. Right? If something works to help people, it doesn't matter whether it costs or it don't. It does what it does. It's composed of what it's composed for. But we don't even care about composition anymore. We care about valuable. We care about associated value in connection with their system, with their monetary system. So my whole point is that the monetary system, and our talk of non-capitalism, is not just communist conversation. And it's lazy of people to say, oh, y'all just against capitalism. Come on, stop. We're talking about a deeper level of conscious realization of substance in the universe. We're not just talking about some Soviet Union, Russian concepts about economic transactions. We're talking about a deep psychology that our people have been induced in through our association with this European. And that chain has to be broken where we begin to see the value of ourselves. Because wait a minute, man. How are we going to build an independent, sovereign community with us, just us, if we don't completely and absolutely value ourselves? Our values inside of what he's doing is always going to what? Pull us back into what he's doing. So if your values are with him, like him, if you got the same values he have, how do you get away from him? And if you have the same values that he has, then he has a right to judge you. Why? Because you have the same values. So anybody with the same values can what? Judge each other, correct? But if you truly have different values, then he don't have the right to judge you. If that's true. And that's why sovereign countries have their own sovereignty, not because of guns and weapons, because they actually do have a different value system on that demographics of land. Am I right? And the Europeans knows their values are different from ours. So we cannot go and regulate their affairs. Is that right? Our laws don't apply to them because they have different values. The shit that's valuable to us isn't valuable to them. And the shit that's valuable to them is not valuable to us. So there is a true distinction. Us here, same values. They lock you up. You was out there trying to get money? Yes, I was. Your ass going to jail. We got the same values. You valued that shit when you was about to steal it, didn't you? I'm just keeping it real. The value system gives them the authority to judge us. And we'll listen to it and entertain it. Because we actually do. The gangbanger on the corner has the same values that the police has. They may do something different, but their values is the same. Because when the officers say, what are you doing? They're guilty. They know they did some shit wrong. They know they didn't fucked up. Why? Because they have the same exact value system. So they can be judged. Even though this is the criminal, right? And this person is the law enforcer, they both have the same value system. Just on two different sides. But when we become revolutionaries, we do have a complete, absolute set of values. And our values eventually evolve into our culture, our way of life. and it begins to set us apart from them completely. And it becomes a recognizable separation in a large body of people. And that gives birth to a culture, to an empire, to a state, and to a country. But every country holds with pride its values. That's what separates every country from another, its value system. Because what's the distinction? Well, if there's no distinction in values, then what's the separation from this part of the land and that part of the land? Canada values free health, right? America doesn't. You gotta work for the shit to get health. So the borderline is not the lines that they drew on your map. It's the values of the individual that exist in that region. That creates your lines. Even with the Revolutionary Warfare in America, the Civil War, it was a war of values. We free the slaves. We need these niggas. Kill these slaves. They're getting our money, right?